Hey, what's going on, boys? So as preseason is in full swing and patch 7.23 is out, I thought it'd be great to get a mid lane SoloQ tier list to kind of help you guys climb throughout the preseason and into Season 8. Now today's video is going to be short and sweet. I'm just going to be explaining a couple of key champions, but in short, you've got your S tier at the top, your A tier in the middle, and your B tier down the bottom. Now just because B tier is down the bottom doesn't mean it won't work. If you go in one trick Yasuo, Cassiopeia, or Echo or something like that, it can still work, but I'm just saying that the A and S tier mid laners are probably going to do a better job. Now I've got a color key on the left there, guys, for mechanical difficulty. So for red, this is difficult champions such as Leblanc, moderate such as Orianna, Kassadin, Twisted Fate, and then simple such as Malzahar, the Annie, the Swain. So just jumping through the list, starting at S tier, you've got Malzahar. Now this is a no-brainer. Malzahar is the best champion period to play in SoloQ. There's literally nothing else that beats Malzahar out. I think you're going to have the most consistent results. It's extremely strong. Win rate is absurdly high. The only problem is people are actually starting to ban it. So I definitely think over the next couple patches, just spam that Malzahar before it either gets nerfed or just completely gets banned out altogether. Moving on, you've got the SoloQ champions such as Twisted Fate. You've got Kassadin, the anti-mage. Orianna, probably the best control mage right now. Talia, another roaming mage. I think Talia took a small nerf, but I think the kit is just still absurd. The roaming is insane. The back timings with the passive, I don't think you can beat out many Talia players. You got Talon, probably the best AD assassin right now. I wanted to put Zed in the S tier, but I think Talon does a better job at roaming. He's more consistent, especially with all the stopwatches that are coming out. I think Zed is much stronger early game, right? But I think that the snowball is harder to convey into the mid to late game. With all of these stopwatches coming out, it's actually pretty hard to get a nice and consistent snowball in every single game. It's really hard to close out with every single person having this item. Now next up is Zoe. Now I was pretty hesitant to put this champion in the tier list altogether. I've only played 3 or 4 games and watched a couple of VODs, but in all honesty, I can tell this champion at its highest skill cap is going to be absurdly insane, especially when the new patch is out. Nobody actually knows how to play against it. With these new champions, guys, if you get in quick, you master them early, people don't know the damage numbers. You can get free solo kills. You can just tear apart enemy teams because they don't actually know what the champion does. So you've got to be really quick with these champions. Get in the practice tool. Make sure all the combos are on point. I think Zoe is pretty insane if you learn it really quickly on patch 7.23. And we're going to be able to see the win rate at the end of the patch. Moving on is Leblanc. Now, I think Leblanc is the perfect SoloQ champion right now. She has great mobility, great kill pressure in lane. The only problem is struggle to CS and struggle to convey the snowball into the late game, very much like Zed, but I think that Leblanc is much better at doing so. So I think that over 7.23, she can be your go-to assassin. Lastly, in the S tier mid laners, you got Azir. Now, every mid laner I talk to, they all say Azir is absurdly broken. The damage numbers are insane in the mid to late game. The only problem I have is the high skill cap and also the time it takes to scale. You do need 2 or 3 items before you can really start pumping out that insane DPS in fights. And the way that this meta is, it's more snowball heavy, so you've got to be really confident in your own early game on Azir to make sure you're hitting that Nash's Tooth, coming into Leandry's, coming into your item spikes. Alright, so moving on to the A and B tier, I'm not going to go over every single champion. I may outline a couple. Now, in the A tier mid laners, I was actually very close to putting Katarina in the S tier. You'll notice Katarina's win rate right now is absurdly high, especially on the Korean servers. However, I think that it is very hard to really make a good Katarina. I think you have to be a Katarina one trick to make this champion work, very much like a Yasuo or a Riven. Another champion that is moving up in the tier list is Diana. Diana right now feels actually really good. It's one of my favorite champions to play, and I'm really happy it's popping off and it's working out. Another champion is the Heimerdinger, the Donger. One thing you'll notice is he has great objective control. His Baron Rush is really good. If you get a Baron in this meta and go into a siege, a lot of the time you can just get a pick and close the game out. It's that simple. One underrated mid that I do want to point out in the A tier is Zilean. I think in combined with Ultimate Hat, Zilean can do work in the mid to late game, and I definitely think it's worth testing out. Rounding off the tier list with the B champions, guys, you've got things like Echo, who's moving down, Cassiopeia also moving down. I think a couple of champions with the new runes definitely have not benefited from them. Aurelion Sol is one to look at. Without the Storm Raider Surge, Aurelion Sol definitely struggles. Phase Rush does not make up for it, and he definitely needs a buff, or the Phase Rush needs a buff so that he can use it. Another champion that's moving up is Victor, Lux, what else? You've got Veigar. I think Veigar super underrated right now. Karma mid, extremely good. And then you've got the simple champions. You've got the Swain, Kayle, Karthus always works out in the long run. And then you've got the Ziggs. You got Akali and Yasuo, both one-trick type champions, but definitely pay high dividends if you master them. So that's it for my 7.23 mid lane tier list, guys. I hope it does help and it helps you pick your champion pool over the preseason and into Season 8. If you do have any questions, make sure to stop by my stream. I'll be streaming when this video goes live. Come by in the chat, just ask me some questions about your champions. Hey, Midbeast, why wasn't this champion on the list? Or why wasn't this champion A or S tier? Blah, blah, blah. Just come by, chuck it in the chat. I'll try and answer it while I'm playing game or in queue.